There's huge potential for there to be really serious repercussions here in the EU. The Chinese have already started talking about raising taxes quite a lot on Western EVs. They haven't really done it yet, though. And last month, 70% of requests for new vehicles to be registered in China from Western brands on their imports from Europe were rejected. So that's something. That is definitely something. That was basically only on the cars that were imported, not made by Western brands in China. Which basically means they will now need to be shipped back to Europe. That's a lot of time. It takes a month to do that and a lot of money. Obviously, companies like Volkswagen make most of their cars locally in China, the ones that they sell. The mainstream media haven't talked about this for some reason. But China are responding to the tax issue, not just by responding with their mouths, they're actually doing stuff. So hopefully the EU Commission revises the taxes, or at least just lowers it a bit and just makes it a bit more less ridiculous. Because I think everybody agrees, I think we can all agree, it's nonsense, really. So in June, Chinese manufacturers sold a record number of vehicles, basically from people like you and I trying to buy Chinese vehicles before this tax really comes into effect. But the market share for Chinese EVs is still quite low, actually, when you consider just how good they are and how many people want them. 11% of EVs sold in Europe came from China in June. So that's because here in Europe, we love Volkswagen and Tesla, but Volkswagen is a really big thing here. I think in Norway, they sold something like 1,200 Volkswagens last month, a much larger amount than any other brand. The Volkswagen ID4 led basically last month with 975 registrations just for that one vehicle alone, followed by the Skoda Enyaq with 691 units. Notably, the Tesla Model Y, the world's most sold car, 195 registrations in a month. So the market is changing, folks, I think. It's really fantastic to see competition for Tesla, finally, because 3 years ago there really wasn't any. And now some big brands like Volkswagen, they're really selling loads of things like the ID4 and the electric Golf, things like that. In 2023, 82% of EVs sold in Australia were from China, basically. And in the European Union, in June, it was 11%, which was a record month here in Europe. That's the highest it's ever been. So there's definitely a big difference, and that's because we've got German manufacturers, basically. Data analysis by Dataforce reveals that Chinese state-owned company SAIC, which is basically that's the company that owns the British brand MG. They experienced the most significant growth, notably 40% of the imports were registered by dealers trying to bulk buy these vehicles, indicating a pre-tariff sales push. SAIC sold nearly 13,400 cars in the month of June, significantly outpacing the 4,000 units sold by BYD for all of their cars, the Dolphin and the Seagull, here in Europe. Recent customs data as well from Beijing highlights basically that nearly half of Chinese electric vehicles that have been exported were destined for the European Union and the UK in the first half of the year. The analysis from a Chinese trade website called Soapbox, a really interesting website, you should go in there and have a look if you haven't already. That shows that the UK accounted for 12% of these exports, while the European Union took another 36%. And that's in a really big contrast to the 1% that the US had. And that's because they've got, of course, the 100% tariff on imports from Chinese EVs going into America. Brazil and Australia emerged as significant markets. They both took 7% of the sales, followed by Thailand, the United Arab Emirates, and South Korea. They took 4% each, and Israel was 3% of Chinese exports. So research as well by a Spanish bank called BBVA indicate, yes, just so you know, this is what I do with my time. If you're wondering, where does he get this data from? I literally just spend my time reading this stuff. So the Spanish bank BBVA indicates that the cost of a Chinese car in Europe is generally something like double what it costs in the domestic market in China. For example, BYD's entry-level BYD Dolphin is 30,000 British pounds in Europe, or equivalent of, nearly 3 times its original price of £10,900 in China domestic market, in the domestic market. In comparison as well, the Polestar 3 sells for £53,000 in the UK, which is 64% higher then its Chinese list price. Hey folks, welcome back. Thank you for stopping by again. I wanted to know if any of you at all are interested in micromobility and what types, things like e-bikes and things like that, not scooters though. Please let me know if you would, just write it in the comments, yes or no. I am interested in things like e-bikes, not, and in what capacity. That would really help me. I've got some opportunities to show you some e-bikes and things like that, so I'm just not sure whether to make a full video or just little snippets and little bits in the videos. If you could tell me, that'd be really, really good, actually. Also, thank you very much for subscribing. I'm almost at 7,000 subscribers, which is crazy. I know a lot of YouTubers have hundreds of thousands. I'm not one of them, but it feels like a big thing. I post these videos, thousands of people watch them. It's pretty cool. I think when there were 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers, I know there were lots of comments, and now there's loads of comments on a daily basis, way too many. And I still sit there and I like them all and I read them, and it's brilliant. So basically, thank you very much for writing all the comments and taking the time, and for those people that email me too, that's really nice. It's bonkers, actually. It's really kind of bonkers. You can follow as well on Twitter, now X, and Instagram if you've got those. I don't post very often, but I do post sometimes. Yeah, thank you for watching. And also, I've got a Facebook group and a Facebook page. The Facebook group is pretty cool, not too many people, but I hope that would be a place where we can all gather and chat about EVs in a nice sort of way, like in a kind of family type of sense, not in a combative type of sense. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for your time.